me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. We'll do a roll call. I think Supervisor Gully is busy tonight. He'll be joining us shortly, I think. Right now, we'll do a report of outside counsel on an ethics question related to Country Thunder Corporation Counsel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At the July 20, 2021 meeting, I was asked to review the question of whether supervisors touring and attending the Country Thunder Music Festival at the invitation of the sheriff and the receipt of passes to do so constituted a violation of our ethics ordinance. This issue was raised in response to a report that they had been provided passes for the weekend, including the ability to see shows and be given food and beverages free of charge. After receiving this request, I reviewed Chapter 19 of the Municipal Code of Kenosha County, the Ethics Code for Kenosha County Board Supervisors. Section 19.06-1 sub 2 indicates that where an opinion is sought pertaining some act or omission that has already occurred, the Corporation Counsel shall refer the request to outside counsel. I did so, contacting Attorney Andrew Phillips with the firm of Von Briesen and Roper. As you've heard me note in the past, Attorney Phillips is the General Counsel for the Wisconsin Counties Association. He, in turn, referred me to his colleague, Attorney Jacob Curtis, as someone with experience in conducting investigations into similar situations. I contacted Attorney Curtis, provided him with a copy of Chapter 19 and the link to the video of the July 20, 2021 meeting, where both the remarks and the request were made. I also advised the supervisors involved they would be contacted by Attorney Curtis. I was recently advised the work had been completed and that, in accordance with their typical practice, they suggested reporting their findings and conclusions to the full board. Attorney Curtis will now present his findings.
Good evening. As your corporation counsel indicated, I'm Attorney Jacob Curtis. I'm actually with the Atolis law firm. We recently created a new law firm. So as Attorney Conemon noted, I have 12 years of experience doing similar sorts of investigations. I do have a litigation background and tend to use similar techniques as you would in a litigation matter. So I interviewed supervisors that in some way had attended or participated in a tour of the Country Thunder concert, and I put together a 20-page report. Certain supervisors, just briefly, were shown it about 20 minutes ago. Before I get into a summary, I do want to note, as far as your corporation counsel's roles, he noted he is obligated to refer this to outside counsel pursuant to county ordinance. And from there, other than logistical matters, he had no interaction with me relating to any of the interviews, the creation, or the finalization of the report. Again, we had a few communications relating to how do I get a phone number for somebody, how do I schedule an interview, things of that nature, nothing substantive. And so I'll just read the executive summary, and then really I think for purposes of why we're here tonight, I'm happy to answer any and all questions. Typically when I give these sorts of reports, that's, I think, the benefit for the board. Any questions you may have as far as how the interviews were conducted, how the investigation ultimately concluded, what I found, I'm happy to answer all those questions. That's why I'm here. So, pursuant to Kenosha County Code of Ordinance 1906, sub 1, 2, you, the county, have asked our firm, to review the facts and circumstances surrounding certain county officials attending the Country Thunder Music Festival and offer our analysis of whether the facts and circumstances give rise to a concern under the county's ethics code and/or state ethics code, WISTAT 1959. Country Thunder, as you all know, is a major music festival held annually in Kenosha County. The county sheriff's department is largely responsible for providing safety and security to the event. Each late spring, early summer, representatives from Country Thunder work with relevant county committees to secure necessary permits. Traditionally, county supervisors have been invited to tour the grounds while the festival takes place. Last year, the sheriff invited county supervisors to tour the grounds, and several accepted the offer, touring the grounds between July 15th and 18th, 2021. In addition to accessing the grounds for purposes of participating in the tours, supervisors were, apparently for the first time, also provided with backstage passes. Of the 5 supervisors who attended one of the tours, 2 took advantage of the passes and at a later date or time attended a concert. With respect to the 3 supervisors that only attended a tour, we believe, based on the facts presented to us, no county code or state statute violations occurred. There were questions as to the food and beverages which were provided during the course of the tours and then later during the concert attendance. While evidence appears slightly inconsistent, overall, basic beverages were provided during the course of the tours. While the water, lemonade, and possibly hot dogs provided to the tour attendees were clearly provided for purposes of ensuring the supervisors were hydrated and had access to some food during the tours, even if they were considered quote-unquote gifts under the county's ethics code, they would presumably fall well below the threshold of $25, which is the key threshold under your ordinance. The food and beverage items would likely fall well below the $25 threshold, and because the permit decisions were already made, could not have reasonably been considered a reward for any action, official action, or inaction. With respect to the 2 supervisors who later attended concerts, while a, quote, close call, neither appears to have directly violated the county's ethics code. The supervisors appear to not have intentionally sought the passes, but were given the passes as part of the tours. And because the permits were issued well before the tours, and the permits for the following year's festival, so in other words, this year, are not considered until late spring, early summer, it's either impossible or unlikely receipt of the passes would, quote, influence judgment, which is the key term under the...
You have no credibility, sir.
With respect to the possibility of a reward, it doesn't appear that the passes were selectively distributed. Any supervisor who attended the tour presumably would have access to a pass, whether the supervisors supported or opposed permit issuance. With only slight changes in context and facts, one could conclude that it would be reasonable to view receipt of the passes as influencing decisions or rewarding behavior. In the future, it is imperative that supervisors, as well as the sheriff who facilitated provision of the passes, consult with Corporation Counsel prior to organizing this sort of event. And so there's an entire 5-6 pages of analysis. I'm happy to read that, but I can also pause and take questions.
Where's your integrity, sir?
Sir,
I'm asking.
does that conclude your statement?
I think at this point it does, sir. Again, I can go into far greater detail if that would be the desire of the board.
At this point, are there any questions from the supervisors present? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Aye, carried. Thank you.